Advisory services are offered through Creative Financial Designs Incorporated. A registered investment advisor, and securities are offered through CFD Investments Incorporated. A registered broker-dealer, member FINRA and SIPC. 2704 South Goyer Road, Kokomo, Indiana, 46902. Phone number 765-453-9600. Neither CFD Investments Incorporated nor Creative Financial Designs Incorporated are associated with SmartVestor or the Dave Ramsey Organization. Neither SmartVestor nor the Dave Ramsey Organization recommend or make an endorsement for services under the SmartVestor program.
Good afternoon. I'm your host, Jason Murphy, and you're listening to Money in Motion right here on News Talk 1077 and 1400 The Hub. Thank you for tuning in. I am from Diamond Financial Group, located right there beside Poets on the Square. Stop by and grab a great cup of coffee and come over and see me at Diamond Financial Group, and I'll be glad to discuss with you any financial issues that have going on. I'm actually very proud to say that I've had a few people here lately come in that have gotten to know me from the radio show, know that I am a Dave Ramsey SmartVestor Pro. If you don't know what that is, go to Dave Ramsey's website and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about there. But we're going to go through the baby steps today, and I know I've done that before, but we're going to do it a little bit differently, and we're going to do it with a guest that I have with me in the studio right now, and we're going to say hello right now to Caleb. How are you, man?
Doing great, Jason. How you doing, brother?
Truly blessed. I'm glad to have you on. Caleb is a good friend of mine who has been on the show in the past, but today is just going to kind of be an example maybe of what to do, maybe of what not to do. We're going to find out together as we go through and explore, and I'm going to do a little bit of an interview with him that I would do with anyone that comes in my office. So the first question, Caleb, that I'm going to ask you, and we're going to go ahead and jump in with 2 feet and just see where this show goes this time around, is do you have any savings? I know this is live on the radio, and I haven't really said your last name intentionally, so we can kind of keep it. So you feel free to be a fictitious person if you want to, or you can actually give me your real numbers. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, we are live on the radio, and, again, I haven't said your last name, but some people will probably recognize your voice and that kind of thing. But anyway, you're a good friend of mine. I love you. But so the first question, though, and I'm just going down through the baby steps, is do you have an emergency fund? Do you have savings?
I do have a savings. I have a little over 1,000 right now.
Okay.
But I'm planning on having multiple savings. That's what I'm building up to now.
Okay.
I have 1,000 set back for just in case, and then I have 1,000 to 2,000 set back for anything else.
Perfect. And we're going to, and that's absolutely wonderful, and we're going to talk through that. So what you don't know, because you're not thoroughly familiar with the baby steps of Dave Ramsey, is step number one is get $1,000, specifically that number, which is the first number that came out of your mouth, which is awesome. We did not set this up, by the way, but to get $1,000 and put that into a money market savings account. Now, I can recommend one if you want to call into my office, or you just call me, but or any of you call me at 252-0201. That's my cell phone number. I'll repeat that a few times because I don't care if you guys want to call or text, and I will hook you up. But there's a money market savings account that Dave Ramsey has recommended for decades that has changed hands a couple of times, but I have used for probably 15 years or longer. They're going to pay you $25 just for opening the account unless you open it with $10,000 or more. And there's some people out there that have $10,000 sitting in a local bank savings account getting typically about 0.05%. This account, you're going to get a full 1% for any monies under $10,000. But if you have $10,000 in savings or more, they pay 1.75% right now, which is pretty awesome. And for anybody that wants that information, I don't want to say anything over the airways that's going to get me in trouble by talking, even though I'm talking positively about them. But if you want more information about that, just call or text me at 252-0201. I can send you a referral so that you can get that bonus of either $25 or $100, depending on how much money you're putting in your emergency fund. But that is step one. And the biggest reason, Caleb, that you want to have that step one is people end up in credit card debt. That's a big issue, and that's number 2 on the list is, do you have credit card debt? And if so, let's get that paid off. Do you have any debt other than credit cards would be the next question. But all debt except for your mortgage, we want to get 100% paid off. Mm-hmm. So whatever debt that you have, you can use what's called a debt snowball, where you list your debts from largest to smallest, and you start with the smallest, add any extra money after paying the minimum on every other debt that you have. You take any extra monies that you have and you pay off on the smallest. When it's pay off, you go to the second and then the third and then the fourth, and it snowballs, and you have this large mass of money. For some people could end up, with $2,000 or $3,000 that they end up paying on that final debt to really knock it out super fast. And paying off debt is all about emotion. It's not necessarily about math. It's not about just knowing, okay, well, this is the highest interest rate, so I need to pay it off first and then go to this one. It's about keeping your momentum going and building positive emotion in paying off that debt. So you have some debt, Caleb?
Yeah, I have a little bit. I'd say I have less than $400 in debt.
In total?
Total.
Cars, credit cards, everything. You have $400 in debt?
Cars is paid. It's in my name. I have a mortgage.
Okay, other than the mortgage, though, that you have $400 in debt. Dude, that you are by far in the rarity of the typical American who's living paycheck to paycheck, and the average American out there has over $30,000 in credit card debt alone.
That's insane.
It is, and it's crippling to a budget. And when you end up in that type of debt, you end up working for that debt instead of working for your household or for your family or for your God. And I know you're a big believer in Jesus Christ,
Absolutely.
as I am, and so we need to be good stewards of the resources that God gives us. Number two for you, and you're almost there because you only owe $400, is get the other $400 just paid off. Let's knock that out. Step 3 is kind of what you alluded to earlier, and that's building a fully funded emergency fund. And just so you and our guests that are listening out there, our listeners, knows what a fully funded emergency fund is, it is simply 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. So let's say for you to pay your bills, your mortgage, your typical bills, electric, food, gas, cell phone, cable, just your bills that come and go every single month. Add all those up for you to be able to just live, not buying extras, not going on vacation, not replacing the tires on the car or oil change, but just live. And let's say that amount for you, Caleb, is $1,500 a month. I'm just picking a random number. So 3 months at that rate would be $4,500. 6 months at that rate is going to be $9,000. So you should have, for you and your budget, assuming that $1,500 would allow you to live month after month, 3 to 6 months. So you need to have somewhere between $4,500 and $9,000 in a money market savings account. And if you decide to go to the $9,000 mark on that savings, just go ahead and do 10 and get the higher interest rate of the 1.75 that I just talked about. But get that fully funded emergency fund. And the reason you need that is if and when life happens, Murphy, no pun intended, talking about my own name, but when Murphy knocks at your door, Murphy's Law, and life happens, you have the ability to sustain your lifestyle without going deep into debt while you find a new job or God takes you where He's going to in your life. Once you have that fully funded emergency fund, and for different people, you're going to have different levels of comfort. Like I said, $45,000 to $9,000 for you, and talking about that $1,500 to live. But step number 4 is actually investing, making sure that you are saving and putting away for your retirement. And I want you to get there as quickly as possible because you have time on your side. So we're going to come back and talk more about that in just a moment. I actually got a little carried away there, but thank you for listening to Money in Motion. I'm your host, Jason Murphy, and you've been listening to News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub.
Hey, are you being bombarded by all those Medicare ads on TV or all that junk mail that you end up throwing in the trash can? Are you confused about all the plans and parts of Medicare supplements? Why are there so many choices? Let me tell you, one size does not fit all. Don't let the stress overtake you because it all can be so confusing. Mike and Julie Townsley of Diamond Financial Group, located at 228 East Broad Street, Suite 100 in Cookeville, right off the square, can explain it all to you and cut out all the confusion. They offer a free consultation and they will explain all the changes to Medicare for 2019. They will help you pick out the plan that best fits you. They will help you understand the plans and parts of Medicare so that you don't have to worry about making the right choice. They service the insurance policies you choose through them. Give Mike and Julie a call at 931-646-4090.
Tucker Farms is the premier land clearing, property development, and excavation company of the Upper Cumberlands, based out of Livingston, Tennessee. We specialize in forestry mulching, site clearing, and prep for new construction. We provide general excavation such as excavation for foundations, power service entrances, septic systems, and water lines. Whether it's residential or commercial, Tucker Farms has the expertise to fulfill your property goals. Give us a call today at 931-260-1178 or find us on social media at Tucker Farms LLC or on our website at tuckerfarms.farm.
Welcome back to Money in Motion. I'm your host, Jason Murphy from Diamond Financial Group, located right there beside the square in Poets, actually right there beside Poets, catty corner on the square, and 2 doors down from Poets. But anyway, stop by and grab a good cup of coffee and come over and see me there at Diamond Financial Group. Would love to talk with you and discuss how I can help you with investments, which is the point that we've gotten to in the baby steps, talking to my guest, Caleb. And he's a young guy, by the way. If you can't tell from his voice, he's, and that's, I have a passion, Caleb, and I don't know if I've really shared that with you, but my heart really goes out to those that are under 30 because I wish I had done things so much differently than the way I did it. I mean, when I was 24 years of age, I bought that brand new car, for $22,000. Of course, I didn't have $22,000. I had a good job working for the Air Force. I was active duty at the time and making decent money, and went out and bought that brand new car. And I think the payments were like $400 a month for like 5 years. And it was absurd how much money I ended up spending on that car, to turn around, by the way, a year after the warranties went out and replacing the transmission and finally selling the car for $3,000 when I probably easily had $30,000 of my money in it. That if I had just gone out and bought a good used or experienced car, as I refer to them, then I would have had that $30,000 or let's say even $25,000 to actually invest using compounding interest. And this is what I started alluding to before the break, is you want to get started with your investments as soon as possible, but at the same time as soon as it's financially responsible to start investing. I don't want you to start investing because it's before it's time, because if life happens and Murphy knocks on the door and you don't have the emergency fund in place, then you're going to have to pull your savings out to bail yourself out of whatever that situation, and you lose all your momentum. If you have that cash sitting aside to help you with that bailout moment, you can continue. Even if you pause the monthly investment, you can let the money in the investment continue to grow using compounded interest. The absolute best scenario is to keep a good job, work hard, have money in savings for when little things happen. Typically, big things aren't going to happen to everybody, and you can continue to use dollar cost averaging, and that's investing on a monthly basis, taking advantage of the ups and downs of the market. Because you're buying every single month, you're going to have the best average year in, year out by buying every month in, month out. So, and what Dave Ramsey preaches, and I agree, is that you should be, when you get to that point when you're debt-free, you maybe still have the mortgage, which is fine, but you're debt-free except for the mortgage. You have 3 to 6 months savings in for your long-term emergency fund. And you're investing 15%. That's what you want to get to, is 15% of your income. That's how much you want to invest. And the first place that you want to invest is if you want to meet the match. You want to make sure that you're putting up to whatever that match is in your 401k. For example, if they match even 50% up to 6%, then you're going to put 6%, because I can't give you a 50% return on your investment in the open market. If they only match up to 3%, only put in 3% into that 401k. Any monies over that, and I'm sorry, I'm going to back up one more time and also say, if your company, and this has become quite popular lately, if your company offers a Roth 401k and you're making an exorbitant amount of money, and we can sit down and do that math sometime, but a Roth 401k is going to be the way to go to put in that matching money for. But any monies outside of the match up to the 15%. So if you're matching 3%, you're going to have 12 more percent that you need to invest. You need to put that into a Roth IRA in the open market, and I can help you decide where to put that based on your risk tolerance. And we have a lot of options and some really, really amazing investments that actually make me excited. And I know I geek out on this stuff, and so much so, I'll tell you guys, I had a listener that called in. He actually got my number through Dave Ramsey's radio show and called in, and he went around and talked to several different investment advisors, and he ended up choosing me. And I said, I'm going to call him Bob. His name's not Bob, but I'm going to say, Bob, I got to ask, why did you end up choosing to stay with Jason Murphy? I'm just always trying to improve what I'm doing, and I'd really like to know why you chose me. And he said of the advisors that he talked to, I was the only one that got him excited. I'm an enthusiastic guy. That may turn some people off, and it might not be a fit for everybody, and I know that, and that's fine. But he said I made him excited, and that made me excited that I was able to make him excited about investing, and he has started and on his way and doing phenomenal. And by the way, he has followed these steps to the letter. He started with his 1,000. He got out of debt. He did it quickly and aggressively with urgency. He got his fully funded emergency fund. We got that in that good money market savings account I was talking to you about. And now he is investing a full 15% on a monthly basis, maxing out first his match and then his Roth IRA. And he is doing phenomenally well and on his way. In his case, he doesn't have kids, which takes us to baby step number 5. And that is to start saving for college. Well, you're thinking, what do you mean start saving for college? I'm not going to college. I'm not talking about for you. I'm talking about for your kids or your future kids and that kind of thing. So for Bob, the fictitious person I mentioned earlier, that's not fictitious, but his name is, he is not married either, so you might be able to just skip over step 5 if that's not a factor for you and go on to step 6, which is to pay off your home early. And so I'm going to encourage you to double up on those payments and get out of that mortgage as quickly as possible. For as much as any other reason, it's going to give you freedom. Freedom to not feel like you... The Bible clearly says that the borrower is slave to the lender. That's in Proverbs, by the way. But I don't want you to be a slave to anyone. Yeah. And if you don't owe any debt to anyone, then you can have freedom to do what you want, go where you want, travel like you want. If you live now like no one else, meaning you're not doing the typical thing of staying in debt, you can live later like no one else. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And so we're going to come back here in just a couple of minutes after word from my sponsors. Want to throw a quick shout out to Tucker Farms is one of my new sponsors. Exotic Tropicals is back on board as a sponsor. We have Mike Townsley from Diamond Financial Group, but he is a Medicare specialist, is on board for this quarter as a sponsor of our show. And the Window Tint Company has been a regular sponsor month in, month out. I want to thank all of them, and I want to thank you for listening to Money in Motion. I'm your host, Jason Murphy, right here on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub.
Protecting your home or business is important to you. That's why you might invest in an advanced security system or make sure you have the strongest locks on the market. But what are you doing about the sun? That big yellow ball of fire is shooting UV rays through your windows that can fade furniture and increase your energy costs. Fortunately, the Window Tint Company in Cookeville can provide you with a championship-level solution, offering multiple lines of window film for any need. The Window Tint Company is the Upper Cumberland's expert when it comes to protecting your home or business from blinding glare or damaging UV rays. And you'll still be able to admire those beautiful Middle Tennessee sunrises and sunsets. When you're ready to protect your home or business from the sun, give Jason and Susie with the Window Tint Company a call at 931-510-0830. That's 931-510-0830. Visit CookevilleWindowTintCompany.com to learn more or request an estimate.
Exotic Tropicals, home of the healthy pet. Good common sense can lead to a favorable outcome when deciding when and where to spend your money. At Exotic Tropicals, they realize you can live without everything that is available at their pet shop. Thankfully, we live in a country and a community that allows us the opportunity to do more than just get by. Pets can enrich our lives in many ways, and Exotic Tropicals can help you care for your pets in a way that makes sense. Exotic Tropical carries quality products that they have experience with and know how to use, and pets that are thoughtfully cared for to ensure your success. Stop by Exotic Tropicals today at 45 North Walnut Avenue right here in Cookeville, or give them a call at 931-528-1080. Exotic Tropicals, home of the healthy pet.
Just over 11 years ago, my wife and I went on our first date. We ended the evening by going to a little coffee shop here in Cookeville, just catty corner of the courthouse, named Poets. We sat down and enjoyed an amazing cup of coffee. We enjoyed the company with each other, getting to know each other. That ended up leading to us being married less than 6 months later and having been married for the last 10 years. It all started at Poets, right there, catty corner of the courthouse. For one of the best cups of coffee in Cookeville, I highly encourage you to stop by Poets on the Square or their other location on the north end of South Jefferson Avenue. Poets Coffee, a great place to take your next date or just enjoy a cup of coffee. Welcome back to Money in Motion. I'm your host, Jason Murphy from Diamond Financial Group, right there beside Poets on the Square. Stop by and grab a great cup of coffee and then come over and see me. I would love to sit down and share some time with you. I will say, and I don't know if it's this show or the fact that I am the commander of AMVETS and also the chaplain of the Christian Motorcyclist Association, involved in several different churches and organizations. I'm a trustee for the Putnam County Veterans Organization and wear many hats and doing a lot of networking, also through a group called Highland Business Leaders, which is a networking group similar to BNI, if you're familiar with that, but you're tired of the fees, come join us. We're practically free and faith-based, and I think you would enjoy being with Highland Business Leaders. I do want to go ahead and mention why I'm thinking about that. If you want more information about Highland Business Leaders, you can go to highlandbusinessleaders.com. If you want more information about AMVETS, if you're a veteran honorably discharged, that's the only requirement to be an AMVET. We are a group of veterans that are out there specifically to help other veterans. So if you're a veteran in need of help, or if you are wanting to help and assist other veterans, go to just Google Cookeville AMVETS. I believe that website is amvetspost44.com, but just Google Cookeville AMVETS and it'll pop up. Also, if you want to listen to any of my past shows here on Money in Motion, you can go to moneyin.motionradio.com. Again, that's Money in Motion. That's Money in motion.com or radio.com, and you can listen to past shows and hear past interviews and all that kind of thing. So, or if you even want to re-listen to these baby steps, because I do believe that repetition is the mother of learning, which is the father of action, which is the architect of accomplishment, says Zig Ziglar. There's a quote from Ziglar that is, he is one of my motivational speakers and mentors that I've listened to most of my life. Bless his heart, he has since passed away, but man, did he live like no one else could live, because he lived by the words that he spoke. But encourage you to if you're wanting to learn something, if you're wanting to indwell it and get it truly as a part of your being. For example, the Bible, go through and read the book of Romans 7 times. Go through and read Job 7 times. There's a lot that's been put on my heart lately, to start reading through Job over and over and over, just to make you humble and to make you realize how good you have it. So now God ended up blessing Job in the end, but still, that man endured a lot. You know what I'm saying? And another good book that has a great sense of humor in it is Jonah. If you haven't read through Jonah, there's a lot of humor. It's proven there. So Anyway, back to what we were talking about, though, Caleb. We were talking about how you could pay off your home early by, you've already been investing, and you get to the point where you have no debt. Then you can put some extra payments on that home mortgage, get that knocked out, so that now with no payments, no mortgage payment, no debt payments, you're living on $1,500 a month. You're investing 15%, and so you have extra money that's just building up in savings. You can then travel, you can give, you can, and when I say you can give, I'm talking about you can give beyond the 10% time, because all of us out there need to be tithing. There's churches dying left and right because people aren't managing their money and they're not tithing the way that God told them to. And I'm an absolute believer in that. No matter where you're at in this process, I believe that you should be tithing to the church with your first fruits.
Absolutely.
And then baby step number 7, I've already alluded to that, is build wealth and give generously. And so I'm going to recap all 7 of those steps again. But Caleb, while I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a chance now in case you already have a question. But do you have any questions whatsoever that I could answer for you or the listening audience?
Well, I mean, being 24 years old, I have a good job. I'm a sole proprietor at work, basically a subcontractor for what I do. I do marketing. I'm basically living at home right now just to save.
Okay.
Mom has an extra room, so I don't have to pay rent or anything.
Okay.
I am paralyzed, so there's medical things that I have to pay for.
Right.
But every time I get paid, I put first 10% in tithes, and then I put 20% in savings to pay my taxes.
Okay.
On top of doing that, what else can I do to kind of have financial peace of mind? I guess?
Well, so I'm glad you shared that with us. So that I do truly appreciate that you're putting the 10% in your first fruits. Pay God first, because I know He can do a whole lot more with the 90% left over than you could ever do with 100% if you didn't give to Him. Secondly, you're telling me that you're putting aside 20% to cover your taxes at the end of the year. So that now tells me that the savings that you have is not really yours unless you're paying in quarterly. Yeah. You're going to have to pay that out, and so you're just saving up to pay the government what is due them. So you really need to be saving more than 20%.
Okay.
And right now, I would say that we need to back up to baby step number 1 and make sure you have $1,000 in that money market savings account. And you can use that same savings account, by the way, for your tax dollars that you're saving, but they kind of need to be 2 separate entities. And you can divide those in the same account. You can have subcategories in that program that I was talking to you about, but you do need to be saving more than the 20%. And I know because of you're paralyzed and you've had some issues with your chair, and there's been some additional expenses, and I'll even do a shout out for you. I know you're trying to get a service dog, and those are expensive, and so there is a fundraising program going on for that on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. Is that still?
There was, believe it or not, the service dog thing, it ended up not working out.
Okay.
So I'm actually kind of going a different route, but I am raising money for a new chair.
Okay. So that's the first priority right now, is a new chair.
Absolutely,
and I tell you what, on that note, AmVets, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that this is a soft commitment, because I got to bring it to my people, my group. But we're going to dedicate $250 this fall. I'm going to have some grant money coming in, and I believe that we can give you $250 as a part of a community service grant to help with your chair. So I want to throw that out there. But in the meantime, though, you want to just try to cut back your expenses as much as possible, and we can talk more about that one-on-one, but so that you can put more savings into an emergency fund that is purely savings. So let's get that $1,000 in the bank in addition to what you know you're going to owe the government, and then let's attack and get rid of that stupid. It's only $400 in debt, and I'm proud that it's only that much, but let's get that knocked out and not use credit cards anymore.
Oh, no, I've already cut it up, honestly.
So, praise God. Yeah, and that is awesome. So the only way to stop going into debt is to stop digging. You can't dig your way out of that hole. And so I'm going to encourage you to do exactly those steps and use me as a resource at any point. I'm here for you. So
Thank you.
To very quickly recap before before I have to let you all go. Baby step number 1, get your $1,000 in an emergency fund. That's a beginner emergency fund. Step number 2, pay off your debt using that debt snowball. Step number 3, get a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months expenses. Invest 15% of your household income. After that is step number 4. Step number 5, college funding for your kids. Step number 6, pay off your home early. And then step number 7, build wealth and give generously. So I hope you guys were blessed by that and got something out of today's radio broadcast. I really appreciate my friend Caleb being on and being open and honest with us and you. And I truly want you to know that I am here for you. Reach out to me. 252-0201 is my cell phone number. I don't care for you guys to use that. Call me, text me, and I'll help you any way I can. Thank you for listening to Money in Motion. I'm your host, Jason Murphy, right here on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub.
Advisory services are offered through Creative Financial Designs Incorporated. A registered investment advisor, and securities are offered through CFD Investments Incorporated. A registered broker-dealer, member FINRA and SIPC. 2704 South Goyer Road, Kokomo, Indiana 46902. Phone number 765-453-9600. Neither CFD Investments Incorporated nor Creative Financial Designs Incorporated are associated with SmartVestor or the Dave Ramsey Organization. Neither SmartVestor nor the Dave Ramsey Organization recommend or make an endorsement for services under the SmartVestor program.